Hi, I wanted to give an update on my upcoming course, Understanding React, such as curriculum and a new purchasing power parity request form, as well as talk about something I think is important: the difference between a React developer and a web developer who deeply understands React. I previously posted a video asking if I should create a React course. The positive response was so encouraging, and production has been underway ever since. I'm happy to say we're getting very close to an initial release of content, and I wanted to share how the curriculum is going, how the course will be different from other courses you may have seen, and how it will shy away from trying to make you a React developer, which I think is a bad thing. There's lots of React educational content out there, and there are plenty of job postings asking for React developers. But for this course, we're doing something different that I hope will change your development life. I'm building a course that isn't designed to make you a React developer. That's because I think the term React developer shouldn't exist. Instead, this course is designed to make you a better JavaScript, HTML, and CSS developer who happens to be using React to save yourself time and who deeply understands what React is doing for you and how. Let's talk about what I see as the difference between a React developer and what I think you should strive for. When I see the term React developer, what I think of is someone who uses React without truly understanding it under the hood. Now, that person can build things, but they struggle to debug when problems arise. They're always Googling for help and code snippets, and they tend to forget the rules of React because they've memorized them without any underlying understanding to make those rules make sense. On the other hand, a web developer who deeply understands React just sees React as other people's JavaScript code and nothing more. It's just a tool. And if you understand how that code works, then you have a proper mental model when using React. So you debug problems quickly. And you don't have a problem with the rules of React because you don't need to really memorize them. They emerge naturally from understanding how it works under the hood. I think you should strive for being a web developer who understands React versus just being a React developer. The question is, how do we reach this level of understanding? We'll do this in the course by starting with a goal. The goal will be able to deeply understand and fully explain everything that's happening within the kind of basic React app you see in tutorials like this. What happens under the hood of React to make this very basic app work in your browser? What happens as React executes the functions that define your components? How does it really end up on your screen? Where does state live? How do hooks work? If you can fully, completely explain how this basic app works, you'll have the foundation to become something beyond simply a React developer. So that's what we'll do in the initial sections of the course. How? Here's the initial curriculum. We'll start by talking about the DOM and declarative programming to understand the kind of work that React is doing and saving us from having to do ourselves. Then we'll get into React elements, and this is before we even see anything on the screen. We'll look at the basic JavaScript objects that React is producing to make decisions. And then we'll talk about JSX, which is used to help make creating React elements easier on the developer, but we'll look at it from the perspective of the JSX specification itself. Then with that, we'll move on to how we get from React elements to the DOM with fiber and reconciliation, the fundamental structures and algorithms that make React work. And on top of that, we'll talk about execution contexts, and not just the ones that are part of the JavaScript engine, which we've talked about in my other courses, but the custom execution context within React that allows React to divide and pause work, and what that means. And that will take us into understanding how we get from the basic objects, the React elements that are created and returned from our React functions, to how DOM elements then get created and updated and removed within the browser DOM. Once we understand the fundamental structures that make all of that work, the rest naturally sits on top. We'll talk about state in our applications and how hooks are implemented where state lives and how reducers work. And understanding how hooks are implemented will help us understand effects. And effects are one of the most overused feature of React. But when you understand how they really work, you'll be less inclined to overuse them. And at this point in the curriculum, you'll already be able to fully and properly explain how React is really working under the hood in a basic application. And you'll see how a proper mental model immediately improves your coding life, your debugging ability, your ability to recall the rules of building a web application using React. You won't see React as some kind of secret black box that only certain devs understand. You'll understand it, and that will improve your confidence and skill. Then after this, we'll continue by learning about various React hooks. We'll look at tool chains, organizing real-world applications, and a lot more. One other note. I'm so happy over the years to have had students from various countries all around the world. And I'm glad Udemy's pricing structure has helped so many to be able to take my courses. This course is a premium course on Teachable, and I've heard your feedback. So I'm making available a form to request purchasing power parity. If the economic situation of your country means this applies to you, use the link in the form in the description of this video where you can submit a request for consideration. And that's the update. You can head to understandingreact.com to subscribe to be notified when the first content drops, or to pre-order at the current special price, or to fill out a PPP request. I hope to see you in the course, and I hope you won't just consider yourself a React developer, but a web developer who deeply understands React and uses it to your benefit. All right, I'm Tony Alicea. I hope to see you soon, and happy coding.